Hello, welcome to another one of our In Good Company podcasts, part of the Holidaymaker XP community. In Good Company, a much better name for the podcast than my idea of no polish, all insight, which you can tell them why I'm not in marketing. That was all Alana's work in terms of In Good Company. Anyway, rambly, stop rambling, Dave. We have on today's episode a conversation at my home with Rob Cartwright from Skentel. Skentel are one of our XP partners. We do and are doing some quite interesting work with them in terms of linking Rob's company software, and Rob's the kind of founder and an engineer by background. He's really created this business from nothing, really, Skentel from nothing. And we do some quite interesting stuff with them in terms of monitoring everything from pool temperature and presenting that through Holidaymaker, through the app or through screens or to a website, to footfall around a park, to golf tee times and that kind of stuff. We held it at my house, so there's probably a bit of noise in the background with Maisie, our dog, running around everywhere. But despite that, I hope you, or maybe because of that will enhance, that Maisie enhances any situation, so I hope she enhances this. I hope you enjoy the chat, and I'll be back at the end to kind of sum up and talk a little bit more about what we've got going on. Thanks a lot. This is an unusual podcast because it's at my house. And the reason it's at my house, everybody listening, or is because I made a mistake, and Rob and I were going to meet at the Holidaymaker offices, and I was sitting in my dining room thinking, where the hell is he? And then you take.
Well, that was a cracking opportunity for me to actually do some prep. Because if I'd come here raw, I'd be sitting here with nothing to say. So I had that golden opportunity for an hour sat on my own in your office. Doing that.
You were probably the most. You were the most. What's the word I'm looking for? Productive person in the office. Moan about them. Rob, hello. So today, this podcast, I'm chatting to Rob Cartwright. Rob is founder, MD, runs the whole thing for Skentel, and Skentel, probably one of our most future-looking partners in terms of the type of technology they use. Rob will make it sound very basic, which is his job, but it's really quite an interesting, exciting environment, the whole Internet of Things area, which has been around for quite a few years, but I think now with people like Skentel, it's really starting to kind of, I think you'll agree, and I'll let you talk in a minute, it's really starting to have a real pragmatic impact on businesses, really, isn't it, rather than this?
And it's...
Who are you? What do you do?
Thanks, Dave, and thanks for the tea.
That's all right.
The second tea from Holidaymaker app today. It's interesting to say about it's been around for a few years, because we've certainly been around for a few years. We've been around for 17 years in June this year, Skentel, and so it certainly talk about overnight success. We're almost there, and the whole what do? We do remote monitoring, and I've been doing remote monitoring for many years. But I realised about 7 years ago that actually what we're doing is eliminating the need to travel to assets. Because I was eliminating the need for me to travel to my own projects. So never mind for clients to be able to do this. So bit of potted history is for 25 years I've been designing and manufacturing electrical automation control panels, and then certainly for 16 years ago. I realised I was driving, I was going everywhere across the UK. Every single day, go to Kent, come home, go to Glasgow, come home. I was doing 50,000 miles a year. And 16 years ago, I sat there and thought, well, this is ridiculous. I must be able to connect to these remotely and put in remote monitoring, routers, cellular routers. And I was experimenting with the idea, and I could connect to them. And I thought, well, actually, I hadn't gone to that site for a while. I'll put a route in something else. I've not been to that site. So I've not driven 7 hours, 400 miles, and then driven 7 hours back. And thought, and I've saved all that carbon, and I've saved all those miles. It's actually, really to do with saving time, because I could serve more clients. Instead of being on the road for 7 hours, I could dial in, sort a problem out for a client, dial into another one,
Yeah.
In the course of that 7 hours of that whole day, I could look after 50 clients instead of being 7 hours driving, 7 hours driving back.
Yeah.
Plus all the fuel, plus all this.
Yeah.
And then over time, I thought, okay, I'll design all this in. We got to the point where I thought, yeah, I have genuinely, eliminated the need to travel to assets.
Because you've got your monitoring.
Yeah, because I'm seeing, I'm getting live data from these things.
Yeah. And these things being?
Well, at that time, those things are being large electrical industrial control panels.
Big old panels that you bang on the side of.
In
the swimming pool can power them or plant them.
So it's actually controlling the heating and the ventilation for a swimming pool in a holiday park.
Okay, cool. So big panel, bang, and you design that, and you can.
And it's all wired up and whatever. But the fact that I'd put a remote connection, like a VPN connection to it, I could virtually be there.
Yeah.
And I did that, so I was eliminated the need for me to travel to these assets. Saved myself 50,000 miles, saved myself all this time, saved myself loads of money, reduced my carbon footprint.
Yeah.
I thought, I should do that for clients. Never mind for myself, I should do that, I should be able to do that for others.
Yeah.
So I started looking at that idea, but then started looking at the whole idea of the Internet of Things arrived.
Yeah.
And being, lover of technology and being someone who can monitor and control. Started looking at Internet of Things, saw a long-range wireless technology called LoRaWAN, thought that'll help me, not wire to these things. I could deploy more sensors and be more flexible.
So on that, a long-range wireless is literally that. It is a wireless function that, because most of us have got wireless in our homes, and it goes so far, doesn't it? But it goes, how far does a long range wireless?
This is like massively long range. So most of us have got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, a Wi-Fi, which is maybe 30, 40, 50 meters these days range, streaming, high bandwidth streaming videos to your phone.
So you can watch your videos in your garden, you can watch the football in your garden.
Yeah. Everything around your house, your tablets and everything, no need to cable anything these days. And it's high speed, but it's fixed, it's powered. So that Wi-Fi access point, it's got power to it.
Yeah.
And it needs power because it needs to be permanently powered. Whereas long range wireless LoRaWAN is 10 miles range, 20 miles range. I mean, it's bonkersly long range.
Okay.
But the trade-off is really low data rate.
Sure.
So you're far from streaming, you're far from anything.
Yeah.
We technically send about 50 bits of data every 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it's tiny amounts of data, but it can go a massive distance.
A long distance. Okay, cool.
And because it's so low power, because it's super low power, these devices are typically asleep. They wake up, take a reading, transmit it, go to sleep again. So they can operate on batteries, and those batteries can last for 5-10 years.
Right. Okay.
So whereas Wi-Fi needs to be plugged in, typically the devices that we're looking at are battery powered,
on and off,
super flexible deployments.
So you said that this LoRaWAN, long range WAN technology came into being, and that gave you the idea to.
That's how it came around about. I saw it 2017. And being like super early adopter of things, I thought, need to see that. Yeah. Went to Amsterdam, because Amsterdam were the people that, that's where it was sort of starting out.
Okay.
And went to Amsterdam, had a chat to the guys over there who were looking at it. I thought, and here's the strange thing is, I was thinking, I'm thinking technology, see, being an engineer, there's a technology, and maybe I could sell that technology.
Sure.
And actually, for the first 3 years of me working with that technology, I was literally trying to sell the technology, not solve problems. And provide solutions. I was literally trying to sell the technology. Now that actually did, in one way it was detrimental because people just want to solve problems. Yeah. They don't want the technology. They're not interested in the actual, the thing you're selling. But because we became absolute sort of enterprise level experts in the technology, really early adopters in the UK, when a large contract for a street lighting project came out, and they needed a technology expert, they came to us, came to me, we looked at it, and we got a £1.3 million order. Yeah. And I was like, holy cow. Yeah. And that was because we were experts in that technology. Yeah.
So that kind of flipped it really. So they detached their problem from what technology they wanted. They said, we solved the problem, but we just know We just know what tech we need to solve our
we
problem.
we know that's the right technology.
Yeah, so that kind
we
of...
need an expert and who's the expert in the UK at the time? Yeah, and we're like, super early adopters. Like, we are leading this. Yeah,
and that's kind of
we actually the tagline was, we are LoRaWAN in the UK, and then we are LoRaWAN in Cornwall, sort of thing.
Yeah. But you're right. It's a really good point.
Yeah,
that in a way is counter. To what people need technology for. Yeah. So it's kind of a bit of a. It was exciting, but did you think that?
It took 3 years to sink in, right? After 3 years, and we're trying to sort of like push these things onto people, Cool. And then we realised, hold on, we need to go back to what we were doing before, which was solving problems.
Trying to solve problems.
We actually solved problems. So what we did is stopped talking about the technology, and we said, look, this is, what's the problem? We saw the problem, and then started looking at sector specific problems. And just say, we resolve the problem. We don't mention the technology. We just say, this is a problem we can solve. Yeah. This is how we'll do it. Yeah. And if they really, really want to ask and they really want to delve in, then we can start saying, if you want to know, it's this, yeah. But actually, most of the time these days, we say, well, this is how we solve the problem. And what we are as a solution provider is, and what we always have been.
Really, but just that contract kind of took you off slightly different. Yeah. What you've always been.
What took us off was the excitement about the technology. It's my own excitement about the technology, and I was like, you're
talking to me here.
And it was like, for 3 years I got a bit distracted. But luckily it was getting paid for because we had this contract. But we soon came back to the sort of realization that actually, what we're doing is we're solving problems for clients. We're eliminating their need to go and travel to these assets. And when we say travel to assets, it might only be next door.
Yeah.
It might be, especially on a holiday park. If you think of whether it's touring pitches or whether it's statics or lodges, they're all on that park. But someone still needs to travel
and see
whether it's walking or in a vehicle on site. Is they could spend days going around doing electric meter readings. They can do water meter readings, and it might only be monthly.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're gathering real granular data every 30 minutes without the need to actually go there.
So the monitoring that you do, so a couple of questions there. So why how did you get into holiday parks?
Well, so again, this actually comes from the technology side. So the technology lends itself to wide areas. So typically farms, open areas, city sort of applications, and holiday parks. Holiday parks are a large area, lots of assets, lots of things to go and look at, and this technology. Whereas holiday parks typically all have really good Wi-Fi connectivity these days. They've put in
much better
Wi-Fi, So all the guests can stream on the phones and look at apps and videos. You've got the iPads and things. You still, the devices that we're looking at. The assets that we're looking at, they haven't got any power. So you couldn't have a Wi-Fi device there that you'd need to put power to connect it to the Wi-Fi to get the data.
Yeah.
What you need is a very low power device that's battery operated.
Just throw them anywhere.
That you can put them anywhere. And this technology does allow you to put them anywhere across a site. It's got real penetration across site and distance. So because of that, it lends itself to holiday parks. And obviously, we're based in Cornwall, and we are surrounded by 260 holiday parks. And it's like, well, it's absolutely a no-brainer. That's a sector that we need to help. I'm sure there are problems in that sector that we can use this technology to help.
And it's at its core, and this is not underplaying it at all. At its core, it is literally technology that enables a business, in this case, a holiday park, to monitor the performance of their assets.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that, isn't it? Really. So some examples of what you're doing with clients at the moment might be.
We're recording this now, end of the day. It's early evening, late afternoon, late afternoon, early evening.
Hey, listener, he's getting a few digs in because I left him in the office for a bit.
But I spent the day on holiday park. So I spent the day with a new
one, not too far away from me.
Not too far away from here. And it's a new client for us. So I've spent the day, effectively hand holding
Yeah.
to help them, because we don't want to do any of the installations ourselves.
No, we'll make it easy
we
for them,
can do,
yeah.
we offer it, but at the end of the day, it's that easy, it's that flexible. We just show the client first time. So my day to day has been, I'll show you how to fit one of our devices to an electric meter, to a gas meter, to a water meter, to a people account. Well, to show you one of each,
Yeah.
and then your own team can go off and do the rest, because they've got lots of sensors. So the first sensor we're going to look at was an electric meter, because they're reading electric meters once a month, and there's hundreds of them across the site. And so, okay, let's go to the first one. It was in the Spa shop, the retail shop for the site. And as we walked in, the maintenance guys started pulling apart the shop, moving the shop displays, moving the big fridge out the way, the retail fridge out the way, because they needed to get to the cupboard behind all that, where the meter is. And I looked at them, I said, do you have to do that every month? And they said, yeah, it's a real pain. Yeah. It's a real pain. And especially when it's peak season, it's busy. Yeah, we just can't get there. We can't move the shop. No. So it's a real pain. So they moved it, opened the door, and I literally grabbed our device, and what it does is the electrometer's got a flashing LED on it. Yeah. And it's flashing relative to the amount of power in kilowatts. So we've got a device that just reads, it just counts the flashes.
Is that all?
That's all it does.
You've answered my next question, really. Is that all these devices do? Or do you have different types of devices for different...
We've got hundreds of devices for different applications.
Gotcha. Yeah. But in that case, it literally just goes bing, bing.
For this one, the existing electrometer's got little flashing LED, proportional to the amount of kilowatts. Yeah. So we've got a small battery powered device, long range wireless. Yeah. And we just pull the sticker off, stick it on. We take a meter reading, so we can match that. Yeah. And the faces when I said, look, it's done. Brilliant. Yeah, you can close the door. Yeah. And he's like, done? And I said, yeah. I mean, it took minutes. And I said, you no longer need to go to that asset. You don't need to go and read that meter. And what we're doing is we're getting meter readings every 30 minutes. Yeah. So not only have you got an accurate meter reading, but we're also got a profile of the consumption.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You're getting, it's two birds with one stone. You've got the meter reading. You're not going to move all the shop. You've got to not, disturb the clients, the guests, and you're getting granular data. You're getting a profile of how that shop performs, what the consumption is of the power.
And this comes into, we'll touch on this now, but we'll come back to it later, because I'm very interested in circular economy. But in a way, what that means as well, that you can put those into units. You can look at consumption-driven charging potentially. Holiday parks want to charge based, which it's. I was listening to a interview podcast. I can't remember what it was, but I was listening to somebody who was not necessarily in the park sector, but was in the short-term let sector. They had quite a few properties, and said they were thinking of charging based on consumption. And there was a bit of pushback, but it was like, that's what's going to happen.
So, I mean, I'm going to give you another example of electric, because it's not just electric metering. We're talking about people counting, borehole depth. Yeah, there's so many different applications. But another electric meter one was I was at a touring park. So what we're Tuesday. So this I think was Thursday, Friday last week. So it's a touring caravan park site in Cornwall. 80 pitches. It's a really small family-run business, and basically we contacted them out the blue sort of thing, and they just said, "Look, we're really small. We've got no money. We just can't invest in stuff." And I got chatting to them. I said, "Well, actually, there are about 200 sites like yours in Cornwall. So I'd like to understand how you operate and if you've got any problems. So do you mind if I come and see you anyway?" It's not going it's just going to cost you half an hour.
Half an hour and a cup of tea.
And you're closed anyway, so I met them, made a cup of tea. They gave me some nice cherry Bakewell tarts, which are lovely. and I got chatting to them, and I said, "Look, I'm not expecting to come away with it. I thought I'll come and talk to you about touring parks, small touring parks, and what problems you might have, and maybe we could sort of work something out." And they said, "Well, the main problem we've got is we've been told we're up to capacity on electric. We can't use it. We've got no more electric. And the problem is people are coming now with EVs.
These massive...
and plugging in and it's tripping the fuses.
Sure,
and we're trying to expand our facilities. We're putting a shop in, we're putting a little cafe in. And what happened last year was, we started running the cafe and we tripped the fuses.
Yeah.
Because it was peak season.
Yeah.
So we said, well, we've been told we're up to capacity. I said, well, how do you know you're up to capacity?
You've just been told that by...
I've been told that by the electrician because we keep tripping the fuses. So can I come and see your electric supply? So we looked at the electric supply. I stood there. It's a 3-phase supply and all this, wires everywhere. And I said to him, well, you know what? I said, what we need to do is actually monitor this to see where you are, how much you're using. And if we can monitor that over a season, if we can monitor that, because at the minute you get a monthly reading, you just get a reading with a bill, or a monthly reading, maybe a quarterly bill. If we can monitor your power on all 3 phases every 15 minutes, from start to the end of the season, we can tell you exactly how close you are. But more importantly, you might have all of your power on one phase and it's imbalanced.
Which is why it's going to trip.
Which is why, yeah. And I said, I can tell you the other thing is, if it is, and we can take some of that load and we can put it, and we can balance the 3 phases, you'll actually pay less for your electric.
Yeah.
You're paying based on your highest load.
Rather than...
And if we can take a chunk of that and put it on where there's some capacity, your bill's going to come down.
Yeah.
So already you're going to be saving.
Yeah.
But then you'll see what capacity you've got, and then you can start thinking about, okay, how can we go from here? So maybe next season we could put maybe battery storage in, and maybe charge that at night to shave some peak. In peak season, we can use that to shave some of the peak. Yeah. We can use that to charge cars. You just need the knowledge.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is, because well, we haven't got any money. I said, it's fine. I really want to help you. So, and what we're going to talk about in a minute as well, is I really want to help you, but my own business, we are trying to be more circular. We want to be part of the circular economy. Yeah. And that's a really difficult thing, but we've set ourselves a goal, a 10-year goal. We've got this direction where we're going. To be circular, I need to stop selling you the hardware.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
If I can retain ownership of hardware, I can reuse it, I can repair it, I can responsibly recycle it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rent you an electric meter that you can put in at the start of the season, and you can off hire it at the end of the season.
So you're only paying for that,
Yeah. And during that period, we'll give you some real-time alerts if you buy capacity, so you can do something about it. And more importantly, at the end of the season, we'll give you real insights.
And then you can decide what to do.
Yeah. And then but the good thing is it's a fixed price, isn't it? And you don't own the technology, you can off hire it.
Yeah, and you can use it again. You can refurbish it or do what you need to do.
I came out with an order.
Yeah.
And actually, I generally went without. I thought I'm just going to learn something about them, and they were sort of, we're definitely not going to place an order because we've definitely got no money. And we both sat there and we think, that's a brilliant benefit.
I think
the Anti Insights.
I think you've touched on something. I think there's a real problem with tech in general, but tech in hospitality in particular. There is that default position of, and I think it's like anything, but that default position of, I don't really understand it, therefore I'm going into these meetings with tech providers already defensive. And it's like, no, actually, in your case, what you've said there is, I can save you a lot of money.
And actually, that's what I said, we're not talking about technology here, we're talking about what problem have you got.
Back to
and we had a little walk around the site, because we looked at the hot water heaters for the showers and things like this. And we had a few ideas, but when he said the power, I said, look, that's a genuine issue you've got there.
We are trying to solve this problem.
And we can help you. Yeah, we can help you by getting some data and some insights. And it's actually that's something then that's something I can then take to the other touring parks or the other holiday camps and this. And the reason I had that idea was we've already done this, because we did this at a large apart hotel resort.
Yes.
So it's 200 bed apart hotel resort.
Yeah.
Huge demand on electric in the summer, all the air conditioning, all these things, and they were effectively tripping their main supply, which knocked the entire site off. Okay. So what we did is did the same thing. It's the same meter, so we put the meter in, and we monitored the supply and said, okay, that's what it is. We did a bit of load balancing, looked at a profile of what was going on, but at the same time, we noticed they had, because it's a huge site, they had a solar PV farm. No, not a solar panels, they had a farm of solar, on a field. And we were looking at that and we said, that's a huge farm, but there's the output. It's about 25% of what it should be. Yeah. So I'll go and have a look. So I literally walked over to the field and I'm looking at the cables. I thought, well, that's disconnected, that looks corroded. So I went back to him and said, look, get an electrician for a day, switch everything off and just make the connections and switch it back on in. So I had an electrician for the day, tarted up all of them things, switch it back on, full capacity, and then that dropped the when it's sunny in the middle of peak season and they've got the demand on air conditioning, actually the PV took the demand on the hotel down, So it was like a double whammy because we were monitoring the electric on the site because of the tripping fuses. Found where we could find some power, added that power. They're no longer exceeding capacity.
And this is interesting because we've talked about electricity, but a couple of the things that we've been working on with a couple of clients, potential clients, hopefully, what we've been working on with one a large park is kind of the other monitoring capabilities that, and you always impress me because you always go, oh yeah, we can do this, that and the other, but actually you are quite flippant about it, but then you go, oh, you've got 200 different types of devices and So a couple of the things that I'm quite interested in is you touched on footfall and that kind of stuff. So I know we're working together on a couple of things there, aren't we? But just give us an example. Footfall might be one, there might be another.
This is the thing I've always got to be careful of because it's careful of not saying, mentioning too many things right at the start because you go like, there's so many different things you can do. But certainly, let's talk about integrations first because obviously we've got all the different sensors and we get all that sensor data to our cloud platform, to the skentel platform. But what we've really hit on, more recently, which we've found is, oh wow, this is that's where we're going. Is integrating with partners like yourself, with platforms like yourself. So the integration with Holidaymaker app. So what we've got there, so I mentioned, there's a site where the first integration was we're reading pool temperature. So we've got pool temperature coming into our platform, but actually that's useful data for a guest. So the integration itself, we push the data to Holidaymaker app, and Holidaymaker app you can push that.
We show it. We show that on a screen in reception. It's just something as simple as that, or in the pool. But you see, and that sensor literally is exactly the same. Not exactly the same, but it's a similar kind of premise. It is just every so often it's just going.
Exactly. It's the same as whether it's the electric meters, the water meters, people counters, which we're going to talk about now. It's a temperature sensor, measuring the pool temperature that we do wirelessly into our platform, and then Holidaymaker app then present that to the guest. That's what we do. And the guest can see exactly what's going on there. Same site. People counter, wireless people counter.
This really interests me because we're looking to do that for a couple, aren't we?
And what we do is we've got on several different sites, resorts, holiday parks, people counting in the swimming pool, so we can see exactly not just how many people in the pool, but the profile, how busy it is, when the busy times in the day, when the quiet times, and that's that's guest experience. That's enhancing guest experience because they look and say, well, how busy is it? But actually, when are the quiet times?
Well, this is it. And with that example, you will send us, in effect, raw data from these particular areas of the park. We'll apply a colour to them.
Exactly.
Literally like that. Oh, that's empty. Green. That's getting a bit busy. Amber. It's packed. It's red. And we'll notify the marketeers to go. You might, as an example, want to send offers to your guests on park to get them to go to that bar because that one is absolutely ram jam.
And this is where as we're having the discussion with ourselves and where we can go with this. Is look, we've got that we're already doing the people counting, so we know how busy the bar is, how busy the pool is. You've already got the guest facing solutions there and all the analytics around that, and saying and bringing colour to it. And you go like, why not say, without even saying the pool's busy, or saying the bar's busy, it's just say, look, there's an offer on this bar and just quietly move people.
And here's your busy times, and being able to say to somebody before they're coming on park, yeah, the pool is busy. It's like Premier Inn do, don't they? When you lift at the Premier Inn, it says here's the busy times for our restaurant in breakfast in the morning. But what we're doing together is we're going, it's real time. Yeah. Actually, it's quiet now.
And it's and this, I mean, there's another Holidaymaker app partner looking at neurodivergent clients. And actually, we say, we can tell you when it's going to be quiet.
That's really important for us.
And that's a three-way. That's a three-way sort of relationship through the partners.
What interests me as well, you were talking earlier before we turned the microphones on. You were talking about being able to identify when people check in and check out.
Yes.
So how does that?
Yeah. So this is where we think the integrations are key here. Trying to go it alone was we were achieving one level. But integrations, like with Holidaymaker app, and it takes us to another level. So we're integrated with booking experts, BEX. And through that integration, effectively what they can give us is occupancy, not occupancy,
of a unit.
Of a unit.
Sure.
And the way we get it is actually, it's almost like pre-occupancy. So when the guest is arriving, we get a signal, like an API, cloud to cloud sort of thing. We get a signal from booking experts to say guest is arriving today. That comes into skentel platform. Skentel platform wirelessly, automatically switches on hot tub, heating, hot water, whatever we need to do for that unit. So I'll give you if I say we've got integrations with booking experts, integrations with ParcVu, with SnapFix, which is like a maintenance app, CoreVision, which is an asset management app, and a typical sort of scenario on a holiday park is guest is arriving today. Booking experts tell us, because that's just, I mean, they don't physically, it's just automatic. The flag changes. Skentel platform wirelessly switches on all the equipment, so when the guest arrives, it's all there. So they're on site, and we're feeding data into Holidaymaker app, so that the guest experience
we can tell.
Is it, you can tell them pool temperatures and when it's busy and when
your hot tub temperature. We can even tell them the hot tub's on, and that's it, because we integrate with the PMSs as well, and we get those notifications. So actually, the more we do together and collectively as a group, that's what XP is all about. Being able to automatically turn everything on, to be able to say to the guest, "Here's everything," and by the way,
even the golf course, here's the flow, here's the flow of traffic across the golf course, how many people are on this tee, what the dwell time is on a tee, and we're feeding that in, so
just
through Holidaymaker app, through the app, they can see live data. But then what happens is something like, say, the hot water heater for the showers goes into fault, trips. Now, traditionally, the park don't know about that until a guest comes along and says, the showers are cold. At which point, it's affecting a guest. Or all guests. But as soon as that hot water heater goes into fault, or as soon as one of our temperature sensors monitors it's going colder than usual, colder than the normal profile, we push, it's automatic, we don't, no one's actually doing anything. We push via the integration, via API, into SnapFix. SnapFix automatically generates a work order and calls out a maintenance, on-site maintenance area. They go out, fix the problem, and they fix the problem on the hot water heater before it even affects the guest. Before it's even got cold. Before anyone's noticed. Thinking about a pool plant room in Holiday Park, you might have heating boilers heating the pool. You've got pool filters and filter pumps filtering the water of the pool. All this different air handling units and things. We feed the data from that into CoreVision, which is an asset management. And that asset management is what we do is we're sending like hours run. Now it might be hours run for the pool filters, and then it's a live asset, and when they've got a threshold of say like, well, we need to change the filters every so many hours, and then it bing, and CoreVision will then say push a notification work order out to say change the filters, or the boilers have run for 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours. So it's not just a static asset management system. It's we're feeding live data,
and that's in effect what you do. And we'll come to this is probably a good point to talk about this a little bit, because in effect what you are doing is you are creating a mesh of, not just a mesh of monitoring systems, which is very cool, is what you're doing, but you're creating a kind of mesh across a business, across a park of things where things are performing well, where there's risks, where there's problems, and you're proactively solving problems before they get worse. Go on, you were going to say.
Well, So you got, that's like, whilst the guest is there, we're making sure that in the background, you got your SnapFixes, your CoreVisions, doing stuff like for assets and management, and which is all completely, the guest is not interested in that, but it's working. They'd be interested if it had failed and it was cold.
Wrong,
So in the background, through all this automation, through all these connected assets and connected devices, we're making sure everything's running smoothly. When you think about owner lodges, so owners typically get a quarterly invoice for their electric. Through ParcVu, because ParcVu is the PMS providing that invoice. We send the automated electric meter readings every half hour into ParcVu, and ParcVu no longer needs somebody to manually read the meter for them and manually enter it into the ParcVu. It's just completely automatic, and then they do a quarterly invoice to the owner. And when this is because what happens is the owner might say, "Oh, that's reading's too high. Someone's read it wrong." We can say, "Look, there's the history. There's the 48 readings a day, every day." You know what I mean? And you can see the profile. You can see when you arrived, when you see when it's been empty, when it's been rented, or you can see when you rented it out, you like to a subcontractor or a third party, a massive spike when they plugged a car in or something. All the history's there.
Of course.
So it's actually really more accurate. And then we get to the point where the guest checks out. So when the guest checks out, booking experts seamlessly just automatically tells us the guest is checked out, and then Skentel platform wirelessly goes duk 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 duk, and the hot tub off, and it's that bit where the energy saving, because the fact that we switch everything off, it's not just energy saving, it's not just monetary, but it's actually those services are not running, it's no extra run hours, less maintenance, nothing to go wrong, no risk, less risk of things actually breaking. It's just all switched off, and it's just saving. It's saving money from a cost point of view of running it. It's saving from a maintenance side, but actually, what drives us is it's saving natural resource. It's actually saving energy. That's actually our driver. Our driver, as Skentel as a business, our driver is saving, natural resource.
I wanted to explore that. I know that's a really big part of what you do. We were talking earlier, weren't we, about Karen Mason and Andrew Holland, a couple of other partners who separately are looking at neurodiversity and inclusion and accessibility, and that's very much their driver, and is ours. I know both of us, me and you both share that. But I think yours really stood out for me, because I read a book long before we met by Kate Rayworth about the circular economy. Donuts Economics, wasn't it? It's called. I've got it out there on my bookshelf behind me somewhere. And when we first met, you were talking about that, and you were talking about, alongside when we moved from being a tech provider to a solutions provider, that was a light switched on, and then that gave you you always had the why. You said to me you always had the why about sustainability and doing the right thing and managing our natural resources, but as soon as you had the problems to solve, you were able to make that connection. So tell me a little bit more about your passion behind that.
It became clear then. The actual reason, the why for me is effectively, I've got 3 kids. Two pre-teen, 2 under 13, and actually genuinely, I think I genuinely want to do my part to make the planet a better place for them. I think as a father, I feel really sort of guilty of I've got to do something. So that's sort of the primary driver, and when we could make our own business, and this is what we're doing, we're making our own business more sustainable. Anyway, whether it's sustainable electric and EVs and the whole thing. We're doing it for ourselves anyway.
We did that. I'm blowing a little smoke up Jamie's backside here. We use a very carbon neutral web host. Yeah, for all our stuff.
And that's the thing. So everything from web hosting, from the electrical supply to the building, whether it's air source heat pumps, EVs, do what we can ourselves. Yeah. But then we wanted to go beyond that to say, well, actually we can do that. And I tell you, this is one of the drivers is being in Cornwall. So being in Cornwall, and which is heavily influenced by Exeter University, there are a lot of courses and a lot of resource available around circular economy and sustainability. So I was looking at them things and I thought, we should be a circular economy business, but we're like so remote from being a circular economy business, because if we buy typically tech from China, put a lithium battery in it, sell it, never see it again, we're not circular. How can you be circular from that? So I thought, okay, there's a mission. I like a challenge. So what we've done, we've got this strategic roadmap, we've got this strategic direction map, we're going on 10-year roadmap to be a circular economy business, which means we need to stop selling things. If we stop selling hardware, do everything as a service, that actually bizarrely suits the clients, because we've got clients say we don't want to own the technology, so that's a win-win situation. We'll just do it as a service. You get what you need as a service. You get the outcome, the solution, the insight. We get to retain ownership of the hardware, which is what we're trying to do anyway. That means we can bring it back into the business, and we know the technology. Whereas you, at the end of life, say you wouldn't know what to do with it. We know what to do because we're experts in that technology. We can reuse it. So we can reuse it. There's the third thing. If we can just reuse it straight, we'll reuse it on another application somewhere. If it's damaged, we can repair it. And what we're actually doing is we've actually built an electronic repair facility within our facility in Bodmin. And we're training the team on actually how to repair stuff, getting better at that. So we can repair equipment, repair hardware, and then eventually we can recycle it. And to best recycle it, we want to know how it's been made. So we're now designing and making our own.
Nice.
So we're designing our own hardware. So what I've been fitting today, our own.
Your own stuff.
Where we've designed the electronics, we've built it in with materials that we know we can recycle, and we put the firmware and the code in and stuff like this. But it's entirely our product. So yes, we'll rent it out. Yes, we'll reuse it. We can repair it because we designed it. And then eventually we can pull it to bits because we designed it. We know what material is in it. We know exactly what material we put. So we're it is going to be. It's a long journey.
It's not a 5 minute thing,
because we've designed. We've got 5 products now. So we've designed 5 products for different applications, but we do have hundreds of applications. So things like, say, people counters. So we'd need to actually either design and make our own people counter, or what we're actually doing is working with providers, working with suppliers, and we're saying, look, this is the journey we're on. In parallel to that, or actually, let's say, to complement this, we're also on our journey to B Corp. So part of this whole thing, and B Corp's not just about sustainability. B Corp is about social governance, the whole shebang. Stakeholders within the business. So it's been a tough 12 months. Because we've gone from like just a company out where we might just sell something and we're just providing those solutions, and then people say, can you do this? Yes. To saying, okay, we've set ourselves a really big challenge here. We want to be sustainable. We want to be circular. We want to be a B Corp business. That means we're going to have to change our entire, filing system. The people we work with, our suppliers, we've got to have difficult conversation with suppliers. So we just talking about B Corp. I started 6 months with B Corp. There are 7 pillars to B Corp, and what we're doing is filling in all the details. And part of that, we have to pause and change the way we do something. To engage with stakeholders or to bring feedback or work with the team. Even change suppliers. We go, oh, that supplier, we can't use that supplier. And we can talk to a supplier saying, look, we're on this B Corp journey. We really need to do some scope 3 discussions with it. They're not interested. We switch systems.
You're not scared to do that.
So we're doing that, and by June this year, so we've still got another several months yet.
Yeah.
By June this year, we reckon we'll be fully ready to then apply. So it's going to take 12 months to just prep to apply for B Corp, and then hopefully we're ready and we've ticked all the boxes and say, look, we're really serious about this.
Yeah.
We have, we've switched, we've changed our processes, we've engaged with stakeholders, we've changed suppliers. We are genuinely right for this.
From the outside looking in, I can only say this. From the outside, I know we've known each other a couple of years now, maybe. Yeah. The transformation in the last year, I'm not just saying this, has been amazing.
It's been difficult.
It's
like because I didn't have to do it in that sense, but the driver is saying that I'm looking at my kids, especially saying I've got ones the person who's actually designed the electronics is my son. He's 26. He works for the business. The two girls, 10 and 12. Yeah, I'm looking at them and saying I've really got to make a difference. Yeah, and this is in the face. This is in the face of the Americans changing sort of like direction, saying we're just going to drill baby drill, and all the things about tariffs. It's just we're just going to consume as much as we want, and burn as much as we want, and maybe the Chinese as well. But actually, I think the Chinese are doing a lot better job than the States. That's in the face of that, and I'm thinking I've got to do my bit. So there's the driver. And it really is a challenge, and and financially for the business as well. We are super investing in this. Yeah. So it's been the last 12 months have been really expensive. It's been challenging for we're going to have to change banks.
Because
change banks. You can't change banks. Because we ethically we can't use that bank. We want to use this bank with this more ethical or social or government. Changing suppliers. But it's really putting us in a strong position to say, we are actually practicing what we preach. Yeah. And once we can get to that stage where we're saying, look, we've been through this difficult stage, and we are, let's say, it's leadership, thought leadership to say, well, to our holiday park owners, who themselves might say, well, look, we're quite comfortable, thanks. We're quite comfortable in the fact that we've been doing this for many years. We've got a business model that works for us. Yeah, I say that's fine. But what about future generations? What about those generations that are more thinking about sustainability, and they might not come to your park because your competitor has become more sustainable. Your competitor is thinking about circular economy. What can we do on our own holiday park to reuse and repair? And
I think it's interesting, right? There's a change in towards the end of every chat I have. I always think, okay, what for the next one? What we're going to talk about? I know exactly what we're going to talk about for the next one. But one of the things that you've hit a nail on the head there. There's this thing, isn't there? When you're young, you vote Labour. When you're old, you vote Conservative. Right? Exactly. When you kind of realise that when you start earning money, you want to keep hold of it rather than. But when you're young, you haven't got any. You want to give it all away, right? And
I'm getting to the point where I'm voting Green now.
But I think that's what you've touched on there. I think there is our generation. We're similar age. I don't think we're like that. I think, and I'm not having a go at the older generation, right? They went through a lot more than we did, but I think we're more aware.
Yeah.
And I think we do look at our kids or the next generation and think, okay, we've got to do something right for them. I also think their generation, your son's 26, my daughter's 22, they're much more aware.
Oh yeah.
And they will make their decisions.
And I didn't even realise.
They'll make their decisions.
Because my son hasn't lived with us he went to, 4 years in uni. And he's been out of uni for a few years now, so he's not actually lived with us for probably like 9-10 years. So I didn't realise how much he thinks about sustainability and the planet and stuff like that. They genuinely are a different generation. So I'm sort of like I'm on catch up. So yeah, that's what the whole skentel business model is changing on this strategic direction. Probably going to take us 10 years to get there, but where we get to the point where we say, look, yeah, we are absolutely net zero, sustainable, circular, and I'll look back, I'll be at that point I'll be thanking myself
that you've gone through this,
to say, look, thank you for going through the pain 10 years ago, at the time, because it feels hard at the time, feels hard now, especially financially. It's a big commitment. But to go on that direction, on that path, and 10 years later, hopefully I'll thank myself and say, look, you did it.
Yeah, I did it, and I did it for the right reasons.
And we did it for the right reasons. And not only that, we actually brought our clients with us. By just showing them what we're doing this.
And that is exactly what we're going to talk about for our next one. We are absolutely going to talk about, because I think your technology is great, and I think the more we work together and we drip it out into clients, they will get it. They'll go, oh yeah, this is, I can't live without it. Footfall, temperature, all that kind of stuff. But I think the enabler of how you can lead, and us as a business holidaymaker, how you can work with us over the next couple of years ago. Don't do that, Dave, because we've got the same ethical approach. But also your clients and our clients and the community, to kind of go, look, you could really be a knowledge base for the community. So I'd really like to pick.
That's actually that's one thing we're building in, is this idea, and I think I spoke about on the XP event, was what we do is we become the network where we're sharing ideas between holiday park operators, between owners. So we're just, like say, an enabler to enable them to talk to us, share ideas, and say, we did this, and they may be the driver was to save money, but it actually the outcome actually was
that, and something
saved energy, saved natural real, and we it's like a win-win. We get what we wanted, which is more sustainable. They got what they wanted, which is actually saving money. But we share that through a community with other holiday park owners. So loads to talk about in the next episode. It's
a brilliant place to leave it.
Episode 1 of 83.
Well, we've done 50 minutes, and it felt like 5.
It did feel like 5,
which is a perfect thing. Thanks, Rob. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And as usual, they always end very abruptly and very suddenly. But again, we always hope that's kind of giving it a sense of actually what goes on. Yes, we had a really good, as you hopefully picked up, we had a really good conversation around Rob's long-term plans for sustainability and the circular economy, which is a particular passion of mine. And I'm going to get Rob back to, as I said, to talk again about how he thinks businesses can really embrace the circular economy going forward. And I just think that's a general area of great interest for all businesses, whether you're a software business like us or a holiday park or whatever. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that. This should be coming out sometime in early March, in the run-up to our event, our XP Live, I suppose you'd call it, a ridiculous phrase, XP Live. There's an idea for Lana there, I must speak to her about that. XP Live at Beverley, Holiday Park in Devon, Paynton in Devon. That's on the 25th of March. We are going to have, as we did last year, hopefully you enjoyed that. 3 other, and as usual, they always end very abruptly and very suddenly. Live XP events over the course of the year in various locations. We always hope that we'll kind of give you information of actually what goes on. Yes, we had a really good. Please do so. Go and tell me a really good conversation around. Have a look at the speakers, and hopefully you'll find some areas of interest there. We're focusing on brand and the circular experience, which is a particular passion of mine. As we normally do, I'm going to get Rob back. Some speakers on brand, some speakers on creating digital and how he thinks businesses can really embrace and kind of really going forward. And I just think that's a general area of great interest for all businesses, whether you're a software business like us or a holiday park or cybersecurity aspects there. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. This should be coming out sometime in early March, in the run-up to our event, our XP Live, I suppose you'd call it, a ridiculous phrase, XP Live. There's an idea for Lana there, I must speak to her about that. XP Live at Beverley, Holiday Park in Devon, Paynton in Devon. That's on the 25th of March. We are going to have, as we did last year, 3 other and a total of 4 live XP events over the course of the year in various locations, and we'll put more information out on that. But if you are around the southwest towards the end of March and you haven't signed up already, please do so. Go onto the community website, have a look at the speakers. Hopefully you'll find some areas of interest there. We're focusing on brand, experience, and tech, as we normally do. So some speakers on brand, some speakers on creating digital and practical experiences for guests, and kind of really making them as smooth as possible, and also kind of some more tech angles, and particularly we're looking at a couple of cybersecurity aspects there. So I hope you can come. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I'll stop rambling now. Thanks very much for listening.